way, that is our greeting from the Osage Nation. Hello tonight. I'm so honored to be here at this, we call it a gathering or a ceremony, honoring the people that have crossed over in the spirit world, in heaven, whatever you want to believe. I want to use what my culture uses to send people on, because depending on how you were raised, and a lot of times we were raised by a dominant religious force that taught us not to love ourselves and not to love our people. And there are people that have crossed over that are coming. When I'm in my ceremony, they're stuck on this earth sometimes because they're afraid to cross over. And I'm going to use this time to send our beautiful souls where they need to go. They can come back, they can visit us. My grandmother used to say, the more people you have in the spirit world, the more forces you have here on this earth. And so I want to take this time to use my culture. I'm going to burn some sage, and it's a sage bundle that came from the Sundance. One of my dear friends who danced the Sundance gathered this, and I'm going to give it to the transgender program once we have finished. And then I want everybody to stand at the end, and if you have a request or a need or a healing, I'm going to take the sacred eagle bone whistle, and when I blow it, that is going to send love, whatever you need, and then it's going to send whoever's in the spirit world to where they need to be. And it will calm them. So I'm going to take the sage bundle, and I'm going to light it. And then I'm going to go to the Creator, and I'm going to use some of my language, and then I will finish with the English language that was dominant here on this earth. Wakanda, Goshnaki Niate. Wajaji Takashini Atakishini Diate. Transgender Dashtiki Niate Vanasate Kishni Ako. Tashni Wakanda Tokoshni. Creator Father, thank you for the land that we stand on. Thank you for the Osage people that came to this area, my people who were here, who revered their two-spirited people and their transgender people. And they put them on a pedestal and loved them because they brought healing and joy and love to the tribe and their talents. Thank you, Creator Father, for the transgender people. Bless them, take care of them, and then greet them, love, with open arms, and take them wherever they need to be. Aho. And if you all can stand, if you can stand. Amen.
Thank you so much, John. It's always so beautiful to have you speak a few words. And to lift your voice and to pray for us. Thank you. I'd like to introduce next Jeanette. She's one of our ladies. She's quite wonderful. She's helped us so much. And we have a group that meets pretty regularly. She's been just an absolute inspiration to continue to keep doing it. Comes in with these great insights, this wonderful wisdom all the time. Thank you, Jenna.
Hello. Be nice. I don't usually do a lot of public speaking. There's a lot, that goes into this day. We're here to remember everybody who we've lost, our brothers, sisters, and siblings. And I just kind of want to share a couple of the words and the sayings that I use to kind of get myself through the hard times. First off, I guess I can introduce myself. My name is Jeanette Chichura. I am trans, two-spirit, and it took me a long time to get to be who I am, and it took a lot of years of not really knowing and having words for it. But whenever I finally did, I actually came here, and that's where this is where I actually flourished, and I'm so grateful for it. And I wish that I could have shared more with the ones that we have lost, because they really are a huge catalyst for me. It's up to each and every one of us to take their dreams and their hopes and move them forward, because they're gonna be with us now. And so, a couple of the things that I tell everybody is be kind to yourself. There's times where you don't know where you're going, you don't know what you're doing, and it's okay to feel the feelings that you have, and to be kind enough to yourself to say that you're allowed to have those feelings, and kind enough to tell yourself that you can get through it. And then the other thing I always say to everybody is you're allowed to be, if there's one thing in this world that you're allowed to be selfish about, it's this. If you're trans, if you're non-binary, if you're a part of the outside of the gender boxes, it's okay. It's okay to be selfish about this, because it's the one thing that we all can agree on, is that it changes who we are, and it changes how we see the world and how we see ourselves, and it changes whether we want to live or not. And it makes me sad that we have to have this day, and I hope one day that we don't have to. But until then, I'll be here every time, and I hope that you all will be too. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. As we go through these conversations with everyone, I just so appreciate that what they're telling us is from their heart, right? We get to speak where these folks did not or will not be able to speak going forward other than with their lives that they've lost. Up next, I want to have just a little bit of music. We've got some great musical talent with Tempest. It's gonna play a couple of songs for us. Super excited to hear this, and they're gonna share a few words with us as well. Woo.
When I was asked to sing tonight, I was immediately thrilled and honored, but that excitement quickly followed with a great deal of nerves. We're all here tonight to pay our respects to our fallen trans brothers, sisters, and friends, and to remember the strength that every one of them had to live as authentically as themselves in a world that is so cruel. I spent a lot of time thinking about what the right song would be for such an occasion. So before I get started, I wanted to share why I chose what I did. So many times as trans people, we're put in a position to answer questions for people who do not understand. And many times those questions can be intrusive and unproductive. But we entertain them still, and we put aside our own comfortability to make sure that they feel comfortable around us. And the truth is, if you've never felt it yourself, there's no amount of questions that you could ask or answers that you can receive that will make you understand how it is that they feel. The quickest way to explain that would be, trying to explain color to someone who can't see or sound to someone who can't hear. I believe that the only thing that needs to be understood is that it's okay to not understand. With that being said, every day we hide seems like another day farther from our dreams. And sometimes we overwhelm ourselves so much with what we want that we forget that it's okay to be where we are now. And it may be maybe someone feeling like their transition isn't happening fast enough, or maybe they feel like they've waited too long to even begin. It might feel like they're not trans enough to ever share with someone. It's important to remember that just because you haven't yet learned that change doesn't always happen fast. It takes so much to slow down and realize that not everything will come at once. It takes time and patience, but I can only encourage anyone that this might be coming through to, that no matter how long it takes you, your true self will be there waiting patiently when you arrive. And they will not be mad that it took you so long to get there. They will only be glad that you finally made it. Often dreamed of a far-off place, a great warm welcome will be waiting for me. The crowds will cheer when they see my face, and a voice keeps saying, "This is where I'm meant to be. I will find my way. I can go the distance, and I'll be there someday. If I can be strong, I know every mile will be worth my while. I would go most anywhere to find where I belong." Dream on, but don't imagine they'll all come true. When will you realize Vienna waits for you? Slow down, you're doing fine. You can't be everything you wanna be before your time. Although it's so romantic on the borderline tonight. Even get halfway through. When will you realize Vienna waits for you? You know that when the truth is told, you can get what you want and you can just get old. You're gonna kick off before you even get halfway through. When will you realize Vienna waits for you? When will you realize Vienna waits for you?
Even to explore your sexuality or to explore your gender identity, it's nearly impossible. Nobody talks about it. It's just a completely hushed topic. It's just taboo entirely. And so, surviving there and surviving all of the stigma that comes with it is just outrageously frightful. I didn't even hear or know anything about gender identity until I was here, until I was 40 years old, because that is never spoken about anywhere in my culture. And I want to be the part of change. I want to be one of the people who tries to change that for our future generations, so that more people can be happier in their true selves for longer than me, at least. I have seen other people start their transitions in their 50s or 60s. I have heard of other people start very young in very young in age, from 3 to 7 years old. I have just never met him. And I would love to know why. Why don't we hear about these very special people that are so precious to everyone? They're somebody's daughters, somebody's sons, somebody's relatives, brothers and sisters. I would never understand, ever, why would someone give any kind of excuse to murder anyone else for looking different than what you expect. That is, to me, inexcusable, and it just breaks my heart to just read about it. So I did try to read, and I read a few of them, and it's just hard to do it. And so, if anyone knows of any other Hispanic, transgender, or gay, or LGBT, anyone else who doesn't conform to the mold of society, of just two genders, and you can only be straight, and that's it. Because that is part of my culture too. Not a particular thing that I'm proud of in my culture. Eventually, but I hope that we never forget. Hope that we never forget what we went through, and I hope that we never forget our history and all of these people that have been murdered over, really, to me, nothing, just for being who they are. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Liz. Thank you for sharing. To Liz's point, the current, hang on, I got these right here. The majority of the murders that happened this year happened in Brazil, then Mexico, and lastly the United States. The numbers, and you'll see here soon, the numbers are just outrageous. It sickens me to, it's sad to see, so there needs to be change. Up next, I'd like to introduce Scrappy. He's our king of Tulsa Pride. He's also here on staff with us, and he helps us get our day-to-day things taken care of. So welcome, Scrappy, and thank you so much. I've known Scrappy Legacy to be able to do some awesome dance moves and swing around and do all sorts of things like that. But this is one of the talents that I had no idea that you were able to do. Thank you so much.
Hello everybody, I'm Scrappy Legacy, and doing this and recognizing transgender, just period, I realize the more that I'm being into the community, how much that this could very well just be me. That not only was I already worried about being black, there's just a whole nother side to just being trans. Is this even as far as your job, your school, like how much it really affects people. So with that being said, I have stepped up, and the more knowledge that you give more people, it kind of keeps them in a safe zone. Because some things some people just don't know. And I'm actually not afraid to talk about it anymore. Because honestly, I don't care if somebody wants to make me sad or depressed because I want to be who I want to be. And I've met some awesome people, and I know there is something good in everybody, so there's just no way that I could just sit back like that anymore. And so with that being said, like I said, I'm grateful, I'm thankful that I have met everybody that I have met and the relationships that I'm building now, and that don't be afraid to ask for help, because we are all here, and just want to make myself available. Thank you guys.
Very well said. Thank you. Up next, I'd like to introduce a friend, Amaya. She is a Tulsa native. She's selfless, compassionate, and a courageous servant leader. She is dedicated to improving the lives of women in her community through advocacy and education. In her life, she has overcome many struggles and challenges, and she has grown into a better advocate because of it. In 2010, through hard work and commitment and the support of family and friends, she received her high school diploma and was certified in business office trade management from the Tulsa Job Corps. She then attended Langston University studying journalism from 2010 to 2011. She exemplifies friendliness, commitment, and a determination in all she does. In September 2020, she started her own business, The Girl Who Cleans. It is a professional cleaning service with a mission to always provide compassion and care for the clients she serves. I'd like to welcome Amaya to come and say a few words here with us this evening. Thank you.
Hello, thank you guys. Can everyone hear me in the back? No?
No pleasure.
Can you hear me now? In the back? Okay. Thank you. So I'll just give you guys a brief summary about me, my story. My name is Amaya. I was raised in Tulsa. I lived here until 1994 when my mom had encountered a domestic violence relationship with my father. We escaped to Atlanta. With my great aunt, my uncle, and my aunt, and my 6 siblings alongside, I attended elementary school and middle school in Atlanta. My first year in high school, I experienced an unexpected milestone. I came out, and that caused me to drop out of school. In 2009, I had an out-of-control drug addiction and decided to return to my birthplace here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. When I arrived, I gained residency at the Tulsa Day Center. I then transitioned from the Day Center to Youth Services of Tulsa at the age of 21. They made special accommodations for me, and I entered the program, and I got excited because I got accepted. When I was admitted as a client with the organization, I completed the steps and phases in a timely manner. I set out to get my high school diploma in business office trade management from Tulsa Job Corps in 2010. From there, I attended Langston as I needed shelter. In March 13, 2018, I met the love of my life, Matthew, and 3 bonus children. and got married in September. I hit a rough patch that led me to receive services from the Women in Recovery organization. I have taken the steps to get focused, and on September the 7th, 1 week after my 2nd year anniversary, I started my cleaning business, The Girl That Cleans. What does this day mean to me? Well, I am trans. I understand that life throws curveballs at any given moment. I've learned from situations that I dealt with, such as family violence, harassment, and a list of other trials and tribulations. I met my sister in this sisterhood in the 1st grade, and we were friends all through life, and she left us this year, May 5th of 2020. She and I grew up from elementary to even dropping out of high school. We were lifelong partners. When she left, my life drastically changed. Having plans, growing old, and laugh and reminisce on the good old days and the boys in the trade. She was a sister I always dreamed of. She loved me, she supported me, held me accountable, and had my back. I remember when my sister and I discovered ourselves, and we understood that the bond, once we understood that, the bond was created. What Trans Day of Visibility means to me, it means sisterhood, it means brotherhood, it means love. It means taking the journey of hills and mountains and calmness and reality. It means making a difference and being an example of good character and not letting the culture around you affect who you are as a person. I dedicate this day to all my sisters that we lost to violence and those that we did not lose to violence. I have faced discrimination in my life, and to actually endure it is very painful and a learning moment. Being discriminated against, treated unfairly led me to obtain the skills to start my own cleaning business. I was in the process of being promoted. I was in transition for the role. I worked even harder because for every opportunity, I'm grateful and will give my best. Suddenly, I was feeling overwhelmed and out of touch when I was violated. The feeling of an act with the aggressor, the feeling of an act without consent will do something to your mood, and trying to be strong and still communicate with the aggressor takes a lot of patience. The outcome of those emotions make you want to go off, give up, blow up on innocent peers, family, or friends. It didn't matter. I felt less of and unvalued at times. I decided I wanted better for my life. So I just given myself an evaluation and started reaching out to my resources. I was serious, and when I had become serious, my opportunities had become available. The resources I've utilized in our community is the Tulsa Day Center Youth Services, the Equality Center, Tulsa Job Corps, Pamela Smith Foundation, and Teddy, that's the North Tulsa Economic Development Initiative. I guess what I want to leave with everyone today is it's okay to not feel okay. We just have to learn to give ourselves permission to feel. If you are going through anything, there are resources out there. I am the Girl That Cleans on Facebook. If you ever need someone to talk to, or maybe even need a cleaning service, I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Amaya. We really appreciate hearing that story and getting to know you, and it's so beautiful. Up next, I'd like to introduce Brianna. Brianna is not only an advocate, but she also facilitates a YouTube channel called Brianna's Place. It's a great great sight, and she gives us the opportunity to go through and talk about different stages of what it is to be trans from her perspective. I'd like to welcome Brianna. Thank you.
I started transitioning July of 2018. I was scared. I had no idea what the emotions I was feeling. Once, sorry?
Get a little closer to the microphone.
Oh, okay. There. How's that?
Much better.
I've been through a lot, just like everybody else has. It's just we all experience it a little different. I walked in the door and I saw a room full of people just like me. I knew that I was not alone, that I was not the only one who feels this way. Granted, that first group session wasn't as smooth as what wasn't anything I was expecting, because our former president wanted a tighter definition of gender, and everybody started getting very emotional about it. Some were yelling, some were screaming, and I sat there, and I'm just trying to take all this in. Afterwards, I'm still in a cloud of confusion of what's going on, and a very special friend walks up to me and tells me that she's sorry for the intensity of the group, and gives me the first hug I ever had. Since then, I have grown to a level I never thought was possible. If you would have told me 3 years ago I'd be standing up here happy, being my authentic self, I would have looked at you and said, "You're nuts." I started really feeling passion for others who were just like me. I saw several times in our group where one person would be just scared to either they're coming out to their family for the first time, or they're afraid of what's coming up. I saw the group rally around this person to let them know that they were not alone. I started getting the idea in 2019 that I wanted to give back what has been graciously given to me. In June of 19, I started Brianna's Place up on YouTube, and it's just simple, straightforward transgender topics. My most recent video was with my mother, entitled "My Child is Transitioning, A Parent's Perspective," and has been going quite well. If it wasn't for the support of my mother, I wouldn't be here. Our relationship has really blossomed since I came out to her. The first couple videos I made, I wanted to make a statement to let people know that they're not the only ones out there that feels the way we do. I wanted to end the video with something special. And so for the first couple of them, I went with "You're not alone." never forget that you're never alone. I started thinking about that, and it felt it was okay, but it needed more. And then I thought back to the first time I went to group here, and a very special person who helped me out. It occurred to me what needed to be said. And so, in ending this, I wish to say these 14 words too. And always remember, you are special, you are loved, and you are not alone. Thank you.
Scrappy, that first song was really, really good. Can you come play us another one? Sorry to put you on the spot. so much. Next, I'd like to introduce our next guest, Christian. Christian's going to come up and speak. One of the, I don't know if you remember. I'll let him discuss it more. But you know, so many of our folks who end up missing or murdered or indigenous.
I just want anyone who is transgender, two-spirit, indigenous to know that you're not alone. Like you've heard countless times from everyone that's been up here. You're not alone. This Equality Center is here. I've found that out since Aubrey has gone missing. This place has been a safe haven for me. The people here have opened up in ways that I can't even begin to just put into words. They've just been open and helped me get through it, helped me cope in ways that I will never be able to repay them. I'm sorry, I didn't really have a speech whatsoever, so I just kind of went with it, and I thought that would be the best method, but thank you guys so much for your time, and thank you for keeping Aubrey's story alive. Toby, Chrissy, everyone, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Christian. Today, again, we celebrate the following lives that we've lost of the trans community since last year, since November 2019. We continue to press forward, to make the world a better place, and honor them with our lives in the best ways that we can. The people that we're about to read, this next list of names, they weren't just transgender people, right? They were mothers, sisters, brothers, cousins, friends, inspiring individuals, advocates. That's who these people are. We're so many things, but we just happen to be transgender. Just like we just happen to live in Tulsa or what have you. So, people in this world just need to understand and respect this. We're just like them, human. I'm going to go ahead and start with the list of names if you don't have a candle. If you do have a candle, please raise it. What I'd like to do is when we read the names, I want to read them together. I want to read them out loud so that we can say their names. Yeah. Aubrey Dameron. Sorry, I don't know. Say something.
Here, I know all their names.
Okay, great.
Hi there, my name is Anna Poole. My pronouns are they, them. I made this slideshow, so I'm going to kind of lead this part. Because I know all their names. This is Yampi Mendez Aracho. This is Lexi Ebony Sutton. Nina Pop. Monica Diamond. Tony McDade. Johanna Metzer. Serena Angelique Velasquez Ramos. Leila Valeles Sanchez. Penelope Diaz Ramirez. I think her name is Ellie. Ellie J. Ray. Dominique Remy Phelps. Jane Thompson. Rhea Milton. Brian Egypt Powers. Selena Reyes Hernandez. Braylon Stone. Mercy Mack. Shaki Peters. Bree Black. Summer Taylor. Marilyn Cazares. Keisha D. Hardy. I think her name is Aja, yeah. Aja Raquel Roan. Mia Green. Key Sam. Felicia Harris. Micheline Ramos Vargas. Brooklyn Deshuna. Arion Burnett, Yahira Nasby, Nikki Kuhnhausen, Mia Penny, Corbin Ray Bach, Christine Zafir, Daphne Dorman, Brianna B.B. Hill, Angel Rose Garcia, Alice Carter, baby Alice, Alec McCrae, Camilla Maria Concepcion, John Scott DeVore or Scotland Kelly DeVore, they were gender fluid. Loretta Borjas, Ashley Moore, Henrietta Robinson, Tatiana Hall, Drea McCarty, Angela Martinez Gomez, Shelley Lynn Rose, Ellie Shea, Isabella Mia Lofton, Gia Valentina Romaldo Rodriguez, Uni Carrie Herrera, Laylene Kubalit Blanco, Sarah Blackwood, Angel Unique. The next few slides are some of the 300 of our brothers and sisters who were victims of violence this year in other countries. I think, there's two more, whoops. This is one woman. This is New Elisa Luciano Ruiz, or Alexa Negron Luciano. And Leah Rayshawn Day. The next list of names are people from all over the world who've been victims of violence in the past year. There are also about 50 assumed transgender people who were victims of violence that were also on this list but could not be identified.
Thank you. Thank you so much for putting that together and reading the names. Thank you, everybody who participated to read those names. Now, you might have thought that we forgot one in particular, but we wanted to take a special moment to memorialize Dustin Parker. Dustin Parker was the first transgender person murdered this year. In fact, it was on January 1st in the early wee mornings. We've invited a guest to come speak on his behalf. I'd like to welcome her to the stage now.
Thank you. My name is Regina Parker. Dustin was my husband. On the morning, New Year's Day this year, there was a knock at my door at approximately 8 o'clock in the morning, and my children and I are in our pajamas running around, and we see police officers. And I won't go into specifics because I can't. They gave us the news and it changed everything. I'm sorry. Dustin was a wonderful husband. Gosh, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Dustin was a wonderful husband, very devoted, and such a loving father. We're a blended family. I have 2 biological children from a different marriage, and he took them in, no questions asked, treated them as if they were his own. We brought our children up with love. His biological son, Damon, still to this day doesn't really understand. Our 3-year-old Jacelyn, I wonder if she'll remember her daddy. She still talks about him every day, like it just never happened. She tells me all the time, Daddy's in heaven. She'll put on a pretty dress and she'll say, I know Daddy can see me. Daddy's my angel. He loved his family. Before anything else, he loved his family. My heart goes out to his parents, his brother. We recently lost some of our family members, and COVID-19 has not made things any more easy for family gatherings, as you may know. Dustin would have done anything for anyone. Even the person that took his life, if he had known that that person was struggling, he would have said, can I help you? What can I do for you? How? How can I make this better? I did not have the opportunity to meet Dustin before the transition. I've seen pictures. Oh my gosh, beautiful. I'm a little biased though. However, when I met Dustin, he hadn't been in his transition for very long, but he was owning it and never faltered. So much confidence, so much confidence. And last summer, we decided that we were going to become founding members of Southeastern Equality in McAllister. Dustin was very dedicated to the cause, even though he was working so much, he didn't have a lot of time to devote to it. But he would want people to know that it's okay to be who you are. That before anything else, you have to be true to yourself. That's something that was very important to him, that he wanted our children to know, that they would always be raised in love, and that no matter who they were, they wouldn't have to worry about where they were going to sleep, where their next meal would be. And he wanted everyone to have that. And after his death, I had so many people come to me and tell me, how he had affected their lives. And I mean, I was always this introverted person. Social anxiety is not really kind to me, but I knew he touched people's lives, but I had no idea how many people he helped while we were together. There were people that came to me that said, your husband helped me come out to my family. Your husband helped me find the resources to find somewhere to live. Your husband offered me your couch. And I had no idea. That was just Dustin. He was just this beautiful, amazing life. And the world will never be the same. I want to thank you guys for the opportunity to come up here and speak about him. I haven't left my house much since everything happened because, well, COVID, yeah. But I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be his voice and to carry on his legacy and Thank you.
Thank you so much, Regina. In closing, I just want to say, these people, our siblings, do not have to die in vain. We have to continue to rise together. There's never been a better time to do so. Never been a better time to align, to work together, to overcome our petty differences, whatever they may be. I'm so thankful that we have the Equality Center here in Tulsa, in the middle of the United States. It's been a home for me, and I get to see all the different faces who come through, and all the different folks that we get to help, and I get to watch the rest of our staff do so many amazing things for all of these people as they come through. People, working out Uber rides for them, working out ways for them to be able to make just a little bit of money, just so they can get the bus or what have you, doing odd things here or there, and then just for the love that they pour into the trans community. We've got such a great resource here. And just to plug my own things, we've opened up our groups. We have so many more groups for our trans folks. We have of course our general group. We also have an exclusive men's group, a non-binary group, trans parents, trans kids, trans teens, and then we also have our alphabet soup that meets every weekend. For a hodgepodge of all our kids. I just think it's just a wonderful opportunity that we have right here in the middle of the United States. I want to say in the middle of the world, might as well be, right? But I'm especially thankful that all of you are here today to celebrate with those who have fallen, and may their lives that have been lost not be lost in vain, but rather to reinforce and steady our hearts to press forward, to stick together, and to overcome and replace that hate with love. Thank you all so much for coming this evening. I'm going to wrap it up with a little bit of music.